Welcome to today's Leadership Assembly. Before we begin proceedings, I'd like to ask that parents turn their phones to silent and that all hats and personal belongings are placed under your chairs. School, please stand for the arrival of the official party. We will be singing the national anthem.
Good morning, everyone. Please take a seat. Good morning to the parents and families of our 2020 student leaders, staff and students. It is lovely to see you all here this morning as we commence the 2020 school year. I would like to commence this morning by welcoming you back to school. I hope that you all have had an enjoyable Christmas holiday, and I trust that you are ready to grasp the opportunities and to respond to the challenges that lie in wait for you over the course of the upcoming year. For those of you joining us for the first time today, I extend a particularly warm welcome and wish you all the best during your time at grammar. Please remember that if you are not sure of anything, there are many people here who can help you, staff and students, who are ready to help as you settle into the school. This is always an exciting time of the year when we all have the opportunity to make a fresh start. I encourage each of you to spend some time, if you have not done so already, thinking about what you would like to achieve this year and then outlining the steps you need to take to achieve your goals. As the new academic year begins in Australian schools, there are school communities across the nation that have many challenges with which to deal. Some schools have burned down. Some have been flooded out. Others have sustained significant damage from high winds and heavy hail. Still others from smothering dust. Some of these schools will be opening with their communities hurting deeply from lost homes, lost livelihoods, and unfortunately in some cases, lost lives. For me, I believe it is important that, as others did for us in our time of need last year, that we remember these schools, their staff and their students in their time of need, particularly as the new school year commences. Over the next few weeks, I would like to explore with our various service groups how our school community can be of assistance to those in such need. This morning we do have a number of new staff commencing with us this year, and I would like to introduce you to them this morning. Mrs. Sue Alloway commences in the position of Head of Educational Support. Miss Kayla Armstrong as an English teacher. Miss Tracy Conyers also as an English teacher. Mr. Timothy Joseph to the position of Accounting and Business teacher. Mr. Hein Kampfer commences as an Economics and Business teacher. Miss Linda Letton to the position of Japanese and History teacher. Mr. Andrew Thompson rejoins the school in the position of Humanities teacher and Head of House Boys Boarding. Mr. Michael Ware as a Drama teacher, and Dr. Paul Welch to the position of Head of Teaching and Learning. Please join with me in welcoming our new staff to the school. We also welcome Mr. Vine and Miss Battararo back to the school following extended leave. Welcome back. This morning's assembly is a significant one as we can induct our 2020 middle school and senior school leaders. It is my firm belief that an important element of a Townsville Grammar School education is the development of leadership skills and competencies in our students. And since its foundation in 1888, the school has a long and proud history of producing fine men and women who go on to lead in all areas of our society. At Townsville Grammar School, the model of leadership we seek you to embody falls within the concept of servant leadership. The phrase servant leadership was first used by Robert K. Greenleaf in 1977 after he queried traditional command and control notions of leadership and authority. He suggested there was a better approach to leadership and advocated leaders serving others, such as employees, customers, and their community. Instead of focusing on self-promotion, Greenleaf recommended leaders make the needs of others a priority. The key to servant leadership is to work with others so they can feel purposeful, motivated, and energised, so that everyone can then contribute to the success of the team or organisation. There are a number of ways to be a servant leader, but one of the best ways is to adopt the humble mindset of a servant leader. In this manner, leaders view their role as serving others as they develop and grow. To put it simply, servant leaders have the humility, courage, and insight to benefit from the expertise of those that they lead. They actively seek the ideas and contributions of others, thereby creating a culture of learning and an atmosphere that encourages followers to become the best they can. Humility and servant leadership do not imply that leaders have low self-esteem or take an attitude of servility. Instead, servant leadership emphasises that the responsibility of the leader is to increase the ownership, autonomy, and responsibility of followers, to encourage them to think for themselves and try out their own ideas. William Shakespeare wrote in The Merchant of Venice, "How far that little candle throws his beams, so shines a good deed in a weary world." If at the very core of our leadership model we have the desire to be there for others, to make their lives better, to assist others when required, we are starting from a very strong point, and our good deeds will indeed shine brightly. Whilst today we are recognising those who have formal leadership roles, it is my belief that we can all be leaders, regardless of holding a nominated or assigned role. Leadership is for everyone, as it is an action, not merely a position. It starts with the idea that you can be a leader from any position. You don't need a title. You need to make a choice. It is action that defines leaders, not the labels we carry with us. Each and every one of you is a leader already if you choose to stand up and take action. Our 2020 student leaders may take a little time to master their leadership role, but I am confident with the input and assistance of all those around them, we will see some wonderful outcomes for the school this year, coupled with the development of more boys and girls who have the capacity to lead effectively. I am very much looking forward to working with our student leaders over the course of this year, and I now invite Mr. Barrett to the lectern to introduce the middle school leaders. Thank you.
Well, good morning, Mr. Kelly, parents, staff, students. It is my great pleasure this morning to be able to announce our middle school captains for 2019. To the parents in the room, it is lovely for you to be here. I do urge, however, that we do become a little bit shy sometimes at assemblies and we don't pull out the camera. We leave that back in the junior school or primary schools. Please feel free to do that. The other way around is at the end of our ceremony, there will be photos with the students. They will remain behind. I'll be announcing the middle school co-curricular leader captains first. Once these students have been recognised, I'll announce the middle school captains and lead them in the school leaders pledge. Please can we acknowledge each student individually and over the top of the rain by the sounds of it. Our announcement of middle school house captains and music captains for 2020. Our Roland House captain boy, Reg Alcock. Roland House captain girl, Montana Beldan. Hodges House captain girl, Skylar Corliss. Miller House captain boy, Justin Crane. Music captain boy, Nils Cumming. Hodges House captain boy, Oscar Daly. Miller House captain girl, Tara Kelly. White House captain boy, Charlie Maroof. White House captain girl, Pip Negri. And our music captain girl, Amy Siegel. Please congratulate our middle school house captains and music captains. We now move on to the announcement of our middle school captains and their overarching leadership of years 7 to 9. Our middle school vice captain girl, Philippa Dowling. Our middle school vice captain boy, Brian Hayes. Middle school captain girl, Freya Bogill. And our middle school captain boy, Brian Garley. As a group, can we congratulate our middle school captains for 2020? Well, they do remain on stage, and a little bit of a challenge to them. They have to recite the pledge. So I'll now recite it to them and ask them to recite it to you. As a school leader, I pledge to respect and uphold the traditions, values and standards of Townsville Grammar School. I will respect my teachers and fellow students and promote a safe, caring and supportive environment for all members of the school. I'll be an exemplary role model and act with courage, honesty and integrity. I promise to give my personal best in everything I do. Well, it is a big challenge for them. Let's put our hands together and wish them well. Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Kelly, colleagues, students, parents, grandparents, and all members of the grammar community. I'm delighted this morning to be able to introduce a music item from a student in Year 8. The exciting thing for me in this performance this morning is it is being presented on an instrument that we have never had presented at assembly at this school during my time here, which is now beginning its 14th year. The instrument is the baritone. It's a brass instrument in the key of B flat, and it often appears in concert bands, stage bands, marching bands. The work that will be performed is being presented by a Year 8 student, Alyssa Curtis. She's a member of several instrumental ensembles at Townsville Grammar, including symphony orchestra and concert band. Recently, Alyssa participated in a band camp in January in Brisbane, which was the most amazing opportunity for her, and from which I've already heard from the directors how marvellously she contributed to that. The item that Alyssa will perform for us this morning is a transcription. That is, it's a piece of music taken from another genre. It's a song from the musical The Greatest Showman. You may recall the movie of that musical was released a few years ago with Hugh Jackman. The song is called This Is Me. And whilst Alyssa is performing this, I wonder if you all might like to consider what defines you and what contribution you can make here this year to Townsville Grammar School. Would you please welcome to perform This Is Me by Benj Basic and Justin Paul from The Greatest Showman, Alyssa Curtis.
You can write a lot of speeches and you can say a lot of things, but we're talking about leadership and it takes courage. That takes courage in Year 8. Can we put our hands again together for Alyssa? That was... Whew. The other side effect is I know what I'll be humming for the rest of the day, probably like every other student around the school. So if you see me dancing, that's a bit of a worry. Anyway. Now it gives me great pleasure to announce our senior school co-curricular leaders for 2020, and I do urge you to listen carefully to all the different titles and appointments that these people will be making an influence in over this coming year. Lucy Bragg, rowing captain. Emma Carr, senior girls choir leader. Daniel Clark, rugby captain. Taylor Cattell, Miller House captain. Ethan Doran, White House captain and athletics captain. There's a few here, so hold your applause. Isabella Dowling, Hodges House vice captain and swimming captain. Lauren Fisher, hospitality leader. Corey Gardner, Roland House captain. Georgia Gorry, debating captain. Malia Hinks, Hodges House captain. Bradley Hodges, hospitality leader. Lydia Laulau is our Miller House vice captain and boarding leader. Flynn McCaig is Hodges House vice captain. Maya Miller is the big band leader. Miela Sartori, Roland House vice captain. And Nicholas Stewart is our guitar ensemble leader. As Nicholas is making his way down, we also have Joe Vakul, who is our Roland House vice captain, but Joe is unable to be here today. Please congratulate our senior school house co-curricular leaders.
It is now my pleasure to announce and present to the school prefects for 2020. Can I ask, because they are all the same role, that we hold our applause until the end. The school prefects for 2020. Macy Bennett, choir leader. Alyssa Binder, netball captain. Victoria Bonahai. Lachlan Carey, Symphony Orchestra leader. Lucinda Carter, White House captain and cross-country captain. Amy Cummins. Jake Cattell, Miller House vice captain. Sophie De Jersey, White House vice captain, athletics captain and music captain. Eliza Keats. Ruby Kenway, Roland House captain. Emily Lafferty. Declan Marchione, Miller House captain and cross-country captain. Felix Poutney. Emily Price, Ashley Richardson, Chelsea Smith, Lachlan Val, Hodges House Captain and Swimming Captain, and Lachlan Williams, Choir Leader. And I present to you your prefects for 2020. And now I will lead them through their pledge. And in light of Mr. Kelly's speech about student leadership and servant leadership, I think we can all reflect on the promises that they are going to make to you, the school. As a school leader, I pledge to respect and uphold the traditions, values and standards of Townsville Grammar School. I will respect my teachers and fellow students and promote a safe, caring and supportive environment for all members of the school. I will be an exemplary role model and act with courage, honesty and integrity. I promise to give my personal best in everything I do. Our school prefects. And now, with Mr. Kelly's help, we shall announce the Border Captains for 2020. Border Vice Captain Girl, Annie Terry. Border Vice Captain Boy, Declan Marchione. Border Captain Girl, Eliza Keats. And Border Captain Boy, Jake Cattell. Could you please congratulate the Border Captains? And again, with Mr. Kelly's help, I will announce the school vice captains and captains. School Vice Captain Girl, Macy Bennett. School Vice Captain Boy, Lachlan Val. School Captain Girl, Emily Price. And School Captain Boy, Lachlan Carey. Could you please congratulate our school captains? I now ask the school to please stand as we sing the school song.
That concludes today's assembly. Could you please remain standing for the departure of the official party? Parents and special guests, I'd like to now invite you to morning tea in the dining hall. If you could use the back double doors to make your way out. Students, please sit.
Students, remain seated until I speak with you. Thank you.